The first character trait is number one, you have to become obsessive. Obsessive, meaning you are so focused on what you are called to do that everything else gets blocked out. Like I can tell you one thing about me, and this is one thing I've learned and I've embraced this over the years. I am literally obsessed with like growth strategies, church growth, and business growth and personal development. I'm obsessed with it. Like I could be almost in a dead sleep. If I get here like 3 or 4 words concerning development, I'm popping right back up because I'm just like, man, what do you mean personal development? That growth strategy, man, you did that with the email. Like it excites me. But too many of us aren't walking in what excites us simply because we're too concerned what other people think about what we've been called to do. And so if you are going to really walk in being obsessive, you've got to stop people pleasing. You got to stop thinking about what other people think about what you've been called to do. Because there's too many of us who are guilty about the fact we're a dreamer. Just because I'm obsessed with ministry, but you're coasting in your life. Y'all know what I'm talking about. A couple of y'all had a person pop up in your head right there. But if you're going to become obsessive, you have to just stop caring what other people think because you are the only one that can handle the assignment that's in you. It's in you. You've been built for it already. The design is there. But you actually have to take the step and become obsessive about whatever your dream is. These goals, they just build up to whatever your dream lifestyle is. And you have to become obsessed with the process. Obsessed. Don't feel guilty about the fact that that's all you talk about. Don't feel guilty about the fact that, man, everyone else is talking about football games and basketball games and things like that. And I really don't care. But like, I have to try to be a part of this conversation because, I want to fit in. You don't have to live that way. That's why you get in rooms like these to be around people who understand I'm working on something. I got things I'm trying to do. And so, yeah, let's talk for hours about business growth. Hey, let's talk for hours about personal development. Hey, what are you doing in your ministry? How is that working for you? How do you think that might work for me? What are you trying? What have you recently learned? What book did you just read? These are conversations that you can just embrace because you are obsessive. And so this is where, as dreamers, you simply have to pursue mastery. Now, this is where a lot of us fall because too many of us are really just pursuing the bare minimum. We're operating in terms of our productivity at the bare minimum. And when you're obsessed, you're focused on how do I master what I put my hands on each and every day to make this happen? If you're an admin, how do I master sending emails? Like, how do I master what I'm doing? And there's 3 things that like leaders, like real dreamers, that will separate you in what you're doing, that will help you become obsessive. Are you guys ready for them? So the first thing, you have to understand the details of simply what works. When you think about whatever your dream is, the 3 goals that we wrote down last night, what actually works? I know we have some ministry leaders in here. So when you think about your ministry, what actually works in a church setting? Is it small groups? Is it huddles? Like getting clear on like, hey, this actually works. Works meaning it gets me the result I want to see. Just what actually works. Secondly, you have to actually obsess and understand the details of how it's supposed to work. Like, okay, I know that small groups work. I know that this particular event type works. I want to figure out how is it supposed to work? What are the pieces that help this become everything it's supposed to be? What's needed? Does that make sense? Right? You need to understand how it works. This is what really separates those that lead and those that simply manage. Is you also need to figure out why it works. See, these 3 levels that I just gave you, they're really the difference between someone who's an employee, someone who's a manager, and someone who's actually an executive leader. When you are simply an employee, you just kind of clock in, clock out. You just know what works. I show up, I do these things, I clock out, I go home, I get a paycheck. That's basically you understanding and only being concerned about what works. But those that manage, because you got to actually teach the people doing the stuff, they know how it works. They know the proper syntax. They know the proper sequencing of how this thing works so that way you can effectively train people. That's manager level. But the executive leaders, and I know some of you are in here, you understand why it works. So while everyone, when a challenge may arise, while everyone's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because you understand why something works, you're able to be calm and make effective decisions. So while everyone else is scrambling, running around, you understand, hey, here's why posting this way works. Here's why doing this event at this particular time of year, why it works. Can you imagine if we did this conference in like June? It wouldn't make any sense. Why would you set goals in the middle of the year for the following? You're still trying to get through this one. So because I understand why this works, I can now position this conference the way it needs to be. Because I know how it's supposed to work. I know the type of experience you need, because you all need the type of experience where instead of always seeing challenge after challenge after challenge, you've come into a room where everyone's saying, you can do it. Hey, I know that you've been stressed about it at home and you've been trying to figure it out on car rides home and everything like that, but hey, like that thing, like, no, that can work. That worked for me. Like, hey, here's how it can work for you. Like, that's what it means when you understand what works, how it works, and why it works. So you have to become obsessive, and that's your decision.